This is an absolute first for my channel. I still cannot believe it. Disappointment, confusion. Those are some of the emotions I felt after I visited the East Side Club in New York City. And when I say visited, I mean I walked up, got a sense of the vibe, turned around, and got the out. Like I said, this is a first for this channel. Never have I approached a bathhouse with the intention of visiting it and reviewing it for you, only to be so turned off by what I experienced that I couldn't even bring myself to go inside. Let's get into it. I didn't actually go into this particular bathhouse, but I've gone into plenty of others. And when I do, I always report back with spicy stories for you to enjoy on my OnlyFans page. I do not leave any detail out. So to check it out, you can find the link on my website down in the description below. Okay, let me tell you about the sketchiest, worstiest bathhouse experience that I have had to date. The East Side Club, New York City. And make sure to stick around till the end of this video because I have a theory why there are no bathhouses in NYC. Let's start off with the fact that I picked up the local gay rag in New York. Very old school, like paper, like flipping through, which I love. It's nostalgic for me. That's how I like to see what's happening, the parties. You get to see like the posters and the ads for all the different things that are happening during Pride. Well, during any time of year, but this was like a Pride edition. This is the ad for East Side Club. So now this is just a typical bathhouse ad. Every bathhouse will have an ad like this. When I see a photo like this, I don't actually think those guys are gonna be there. Sometimes they are. And especially during Pride, you have a good chance, my friends, of running into people like this, if this is your jam, at a bathhouse when it's Pride. So when I saw this ad, whatever, it doesn't matter. My tastes are vast. I like a plethora of different kinds of men. It doesn't have to be this. This is your standard bathhouse model ad. Perfect. East Side Club, rooms, lockers, showers, sauna, and steam room. Perfect. I mean, what else could you want? You know, it's open 24/7. It's so far so good. It wasn't until I got home and I checked on the website to see what kind of website they have, because I thought something this sketchy is not going to have a very good web presence. Usually they don't. This one did. So I went to East Side Club, blah, 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 and then you pull it up and it looks very much like this. Look at these graphics. This is a real website. This website makes you think that the East Side Club is like the place to be. Look at this guy, right? And then leave the hustle and bustle of the city behind you and enjoy yourself New York style. Like, this is a well done website. This, based on the website, I would think that this is a place that you could go and would be totally passable. Look, unwind and relax in one of our lounges. Grab a shower, steam or sauna, watch television or view a movie. Like, they did a good job. We've been around since 1976. Yeah, and you haven't updated anything since, apparently. But look, if you scroll down a little bit, prides itself on making your visit as relaxing and enjoyable. Okay, great. But if you look at these pictures, okay, these ones aren't bad. The loungy area is not bad. The locker, I mean, you can smell the lockers from here. These pictures are awful. So as good as the top of the website is, you're like, wow, this is nice. I really like how they're, and then you get to the photos and you're like, wait a minute. I mean, like, look at this room. And this, is that the steam room? I mean, just, bleh. No, these pictures are awful. And the thing with these websites is usually the pictures are great, and then you get there and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look as good as the picture does. I mean, that's the point of the website, is to sell it. But they can't even sell the pictures. Even on the website, the pictures look like shit. Like, they couldn't even make it look good for the website to try to entice you to come in. That's how bad it is on the inside. I can't tell you how happy I am I didn't go in. It's out of the way, which, okay, I understand locations are sometimes out of the way. I'm not holding that against them at all. It's like an office building and you kind of walk in the door at the bottom and then you got to hit the elevator. Before, though, I even walked in the front door, I saw what came out the front door. First impressions mean a lot, I think. Not that you want to base everything on that first impression, but a man came out and he was with a very young Latin boy. So my first impression of the place is, oh, this is where escorts pick up their clients. Which happens at bathhouses, yes. Usually it's not the first thing you see when you approach a building. And just because that's happening doesn't mean that other things aren't happening in there. It doesn't mean that that place is good just for that. Although it's a bit of a red flag. I go in the elevator, it opens, the elevator is disgusting. Like, it's dirty. There is no air conditioning. And if you've ever been to New York City in the summer, it's gross. It's humid, it's hot. You know, that's why people go to the Hampton, not me, people. And then it opens on one floor. One of the workers comes in the elevator and I'm like, it's hot in here. And he's like, it's always like this. And he did not look happy. He didn't look happy to be there. He didn't look happy about the heat. Bing! The elevator opens. I come out of the elevator and I enter this like reception kind of area. It's dark. There's a smell. It looks extremely outdated and in need of love. Clearly, I see the front desk. It's clear. I go up to it. As I'm standing there and I'm reading the board of what to do, the guy's busy behind the thing, you know, checking other people out. But it was also a red flag that there was no lineup. I mean, it's Pride. It's Pride, and there was no lineup outside, which makes me think, how busy are you? Well, finally, the guy behind the counter, you know, pays me some mind. He comes up to me, he's like, no smile, nothing, just very flat, unfriendly. But hey, you know, I've never been here before. I'm here for Pride. You know, nothing, didn't care. Usually I would say get a room. But in this situation, I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't think it's going to be long, so I'll probably just get a locker. So I told him, I said, I think I'm just going to get a locker. And he's like, great, that's $41 cash. And I was like, what? Now, okay, I know at Pride they raise the prices and stuff. $41 for a locker. And my impression so far was already like horrible. If this was like a beautiful place and, you know, he was friendly and there was music, there was no music. There was music playing and I felt like it was worth it. But it was like handing me a dirty shoe with holes in it and being like, that's $500. Like, the value for what I was seeing didn't make any sense whatsoever. And, red flag, only cash. Only at cash. So sketch. Even at that point, I was still determined to go inside. So I said, oh, okay, I don't have cash on me. And he said, and I turned around and there was an ATM. And he's like, yeah, that one doesn't work. It's $41. You only take cash. And the ATM in your reception area doesn't work. Are you trying to scare me away? Literally, after I realized that the ATM didn't work, I was done. I mean, that was more than 3 strikes for me. I'm sorry. I'm a very open-minded person. I'm a very flexible person. And I was going with the intention of doing a review because I wanted to review. Because before I went to New York, people were saying, oh, there's no bathhouse in New York. I said, that's crazy. There has to be. There has to be a bathhouse in New York City. That doesn't make any sense. There's like 5 in Montreal, which is a quarter of the size. Found one, and I was so excited. And, wow, the disappointment, it's insane. The East Side Club in New York City is getting a big fat 0 eggplants. I don't care that I didn't go in. I didn't have to go in. It's getting a 0 for the eggplants. I absolutely do not recommend that you waste your time by going to the East Side Club. Okay, so here is my theory of why you cannot find a bathhouse in New York City. And that is, and it pains me to say this, because you know how I feel about apps versus bathhouses. But the apps, Grindr, Scruff, Sniffies, are so chock full with men all the time, and New York being such a tourist attraction, people coming and going, there's new meat all the time. I believe, this is my theory, that you can find sex so easily in so many other places that a bathhouse is just not a reality in New York City. If you know of another reason why, is it a zoning thing? I don't know. If you know, let me know down in the comments. That is my theory, that you can walk out the door. There are endless bars, clubs, strip clubs, As an example of my point that like sex is everywhere is that we actually went to a place called the Monster, which is not a bathhouse. It's a strip club with go-go boys, dancers, strippers, and a back room where you can get like lap dances and stuff. It's called the Monster. And this night specifically that I'm talking about is called Spunk. If you're in New York City on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, I think are the nights for the Monster, for Spunk specifically, check it out. It's definitely worth going to. So the bar is upstairs. It's just a normal bar, and there's a piano, and they have people, like there's karaoke and there's singing and there's talent and things like this on different nights. And it's just very bar. It's very jovial and very mixed crowd. Then you go downstairs. There's like a spiral staircase, mirrored spiral staircase. You got to pay a cover. You go down the spiral staircase, and then you're in stripper land. Like there's a main stage with a pole, there's a bar, there's a back little stage with another pole, there's a dance floor. Music was fun. It was very like danceable and fun, keeping the atmosphere up. You know, there were some people looking at the strippers, there were some people dancing, there were some people chatting. So there's a little bit of everything, and it could be whatever you wanted it to be. The strippers were Latin heavy, meaning there was a lot of like, the percentage of Latinos was high, which is great because I love Latinos. One of them, named Enzo, came up to me and he was talking to me. He even like smelled my cologne and was able to name exactly what I was wearing, which I thought was funny. I was drunk. So this is kind of an example of like, I guess you don't have to go to the bathhouse. Maybe that's why there are no bathhouses. There's places like the Monster that host Spunk, you know, a few times a week. I don't know. If you want to go in the back, it's $5 per minute for the lap dance, and apparently I heard that it can get pretty spicy back there. I'm just saying, we actually had just stumbled upon that place and kind of ended up there by accident, but we ended up going back a couple more times because we had so much fun. So instead of going to the East Side Club, just go to Spunk. Apparently sex is on order in New York City, just not in the form of a decent bathhouse. But judging by how busy the saunas are in other cities around the world, I'm telling you, if you got a bit of cash and you're looking to open a new business, I think that there's a gap in the market here that you can totally capitalize on. So somebody, please, open a bathhouse that makes sense in New York City. Supporting my channel is easy by subscribing, commenting, or even becoming a patron, like my newest patrons, Jarrett and Jim. Patrons of my channel get advanced access to videos, behind-the-scenes content, and video chats with me. And for a deeper dive, why not sign up for my newsletter? It's absolutely free and full of discounts on fun stuff for you to enjoy. For all the ways that you can support, just head over to patrickmarano.com. It's linked in the description below. And I will see you in the next video.